Welcome to the Lodge. You've accessed
the Lodgecast experience.
Enjoy.
Live from the Lodge, it's the Lodgecast Oscar Extravaganza. I'm your host, Brother Bischke, and I'm going to be leading us through a hard-charging review of our Oscar predictions for the 92nd Academy Awards, hosted on Sunday, February 9th, 2020 at 5 p.m. Pacific Time at the Dolby Theater in Hollywood, California. After we've picked the Oscar winners, we're going to do a top 10 countdown of our favorite films of 2019. Tonight, I'm joined by Lodge Master Matt.
What's up?
Brother Lucas.
Greetings and salutations.
And our two very prestigious guests, Brother Zach.
It's all gold, baby.
And Brother Nathan.
It is a golden night.
2019 was a fascinating year for movies. For the Lodgecast in the past year, we've had some incredible highs and some unbearable lows. We started the year on January 1st, 2019, watching Captain Hoagie in Welcome to Marwin.
Oh, yeah, we did.
And we ended the year triumphantly by seeing Tom Hooper's Cats.
Oh, yeah, we did.
I want to say much thanks to our Lodge Master for editing our shows.
Oh, you're quite welcome.
Thank you.
And thanks to
Labor of love.
Best editing.
Make us sound great every time.
Seriously, thanks for cutting out the naughty bits.
Make you sound smart.
Thank you so much. And thanks to all our Lodgecast guests we've had on.
Thank you, Zach. Thank you, Brother Nathan.
And all the others.
It's always a pleasure.
And a heartfelt thanks to our listeners, to those listening in Egypt. We see you in the SoundCloud analytics, and we thank you.
Really?
Lots of
numbers.
Egypt
Shout
love.
out.
Big
Wow.
numbers.
Lots of Egyptian love.
Love it.
So now, on to our Oscar picks in all 24 categories. We'll cover what we predict will win, what we hope will win, and if we feel something got snubbed in a category, we'll mention that quickly. You might want to consider our suggestions when filling out your Oscar ballots, but I've done pretty poorly on my Oscar ballots recently, so maybe not. Anyway, let's go to our Oscar predictions. Here we go.
And you're going to try to keep this under an hour somehow?
And we're somehow going to keep this under an hour.
Spit out the titles. Is
Good
that what
luck.
we're doing?
You know, they all even
Yeah, we
in
could-
the Oscars don't even have a host anymore, and they can't keep it under
That's
3
right.
hours.
Yeah.
So you know,
I'm not holding my breath.
best of luck to you.
Dive right in. Oscar predictions, best motion picture. What do we think, guys?
Right off the bat, 1917, I think, has a chance. Really
think
strong.
that's it.
I think that's it.
I have it. 1917 is the winner.
Yeah.
I think
I-
1917's a lot.
The Oscars love these war movies, and this one was like Saving Private Ryan done right.
But what should win, in my opinion, is Parasite.
I second that.
For best-
Parasite
for
I
best
should
mean,
picture.
win.
that would be the best upset of the night. I mean, I'm Team Parasite. I'm
Team
sure
Parasite.
many people
Team
are in this
Parasite.
car.
Yeah.
I don't know. But for that to win Best Picture would be such a highlight and an honor for that one. But that seems like a dark horse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What
yeah.
do people think about number two? If 1917 is your top, what is number two for everybody?
Well, I think Parasite's
I
the
think-
underdog,
I agree.
but
I think it's
think-
between those two.
But yeah, I think those are the only ones
And,
left.
and I think Uncut Gems should have been included in the nominees.
I mean, why not?
Yeah.
You know?
Come on.
There's 10 slots.
We're gonna
Yeah.
be
Have all
we're
this,
gonna
yeah.
be talking about Uncut Gems in the years to come, and some of these nominees we will not.
Ford v. Ferrari.
Ferrari. All
Just to
right,
name one.
moving on to Best Actress. Our prediction is
Renee Zellweger for Judy.
Renee Zellweger for Judy.
She's a
really
lock,
got
right?
the momentum.
Brought
and I think,
tears to my eyes when I
think
saw it on the big
performance
screen.
alone, she can be honored, like regardless of how the movie's doing or no one really saw it.
I haven't seen it yet, but I
She
predict
seems
she'll
to
win.
be the highlight.
Now, this is sort of a referendum on, like, welcome back Renee Zellweger, right?
I think so.
Like,
Yeah.
we
Welcome back.
love you. I think that's part of
She's
it.
supremely awkward in
Does anyone
this press campaign. I mean, I think isn't Judy the character kind of an awkward? Dave, who saw it? Who saw it?
I saw
Lucas
it.
and I and Lucas's mom saw it, and
Lucas's mom had
What do
some
you?
words.
Is it a real?
Lucas's mom, favorite Lodgecast guest of the year.
She's a
Bar none.
highlight.
Thank you.
Bar
Highlight.
none.
Yeah, my mom and I both thought Renee was miscast in the sense that even though she was the same age as Judy Garland when Judy Garland died, which was late 40s, shockingly, Garland was such a booze hound, pill popper. She looked much, much older and worse for wear. And my
Yeah,
mom
she was
thought Annette,
heavier.
Annette Bening should have been her, or like Marcia Gay
did.
Harden, like someone with some more flab and weight on her.
Yeah,
Because Zellweger was just like too thin, like just too
Well, you gotta
uh,
get that right,
fit.
right? You gotta get that right.
does anyone
Is it
have,
a showy role though? It's showy.
Well,
She-
it is a showy role, but Zellweger keeps it restrained. She keeps it reined in, and she's not.
Speaking of reined in, Bischke is the producer tonight, and he's going to keep this thing moving.
Oh, we're keeping moving. But who does anyone have any like? I really wanted this actress to win.
No, I think
No, but I
it's-
do have
think-
who I think should be in this category. It was a movie that was on the cast, and that is Miss Binoche for The High Life.
Ooh.
I think that is
that's a dark.
That is
darkest horse.
the darkest horse.
You've got my attention,
but
Mr.
but the
Zach.
tastiest dragon.
Oh.
And she truly, for that performance, I think was definitely more interesting than several of these nominees.
Well, I
Agreed.
think
Definitely.
Theron should be on there too. I thought she did a complete transformation for
Yeah.
She's
Great
nominated.
Bombshell.
Great
She's the
Megyn
best
Kelly impression. Great
performance
Megyn Kelly
in that
impression.
film,
Isn't she nominated?
She is nominated. I'm
lot of people didn't see
rooting
that
for
one.
her.
Yeah.
I don't think she's going to win it all.
She's not going
Best
to.
actor, Joaquin Phoenix
a
wins.
lock.
He's gonna
Yeah,
win.
he's going to
Joker.
win, but I think Antonio Banderas should win
Should
that.
Yes,
win
he should.
100%.
Should, yeah.
Yes,
Because I
Lucas,
bet
yes.
Antonio
I think it's
makes
his
you
best
feel
role.
more.
I mean,
Since The Skin I Live In, for me. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, every time he hooks up with Almodovar, I am just.
I
in
love
heaven.
when he directs.
Yeah,
Banderas.
that is
they have a
a
history.
winning combination.
And we
those
just
two.
saw him in the 1995 erotic classic Never Talk to Strangers.
We did.
If you're hearing us right now and you want a sexy time at the movies this evening, check it out.
Just
a
say
cinematic
yes.
skeleton in his
say
celluloid
yes.
closet.
Say yes. Say yes.
Okay, any snubs for the best
Adam
actor?
Sandler, no question.
Yeah, for sure. Sandler.
I feel like he had momentum coming up to it.
It
and
was a shock.
This
I
might
think.
be
it's kinda
supporting,
like,
but Willem Dafoe for The Lighthouse.
I'm holding on to him for supporting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Eddie Murphy for Dolomite is my name. I just would have
think-
I would have
yeah.
loved to see Eddie at the Oscars.
And he did a great job. He was great in that.
He was
movie.
great.
He was a heck of a good time.
Onward to actress in a supporting role. Prediction
I mean,
is
Laura Dern's
Laura
supposed
Dern.
to win, right?
she's gonna win.
Kathy
yeah.
Bates should win.
I want Kathy Bates.
Well, I mean,
Want Kathy
she might
Bates?
still have a chance here. She might
Kathy
still have
Bates
a chance
is
here with this.
amazing.
Kathy Bates is the only reason to see that movie.
I'm kind of surprised that Laura Dern's up here. I really like her. I mean, I obviously like her for all the, the David Lynch movies she's been in, and she's just kind of a solid actress throughout. But her performance in this is kind of she has one scene where she's like, take this guy. This is your time, honey. Take this guy for everything he's worth.
She's
Yeah.
the same in Big Little Lies. She didn't
It
have
is
to
very Renata.
She didn't have to stretch at all for this.
But I feel like she'll win it also because Academy members aren't probably watching the Richard Jewell screener all the way through
Nor
to
should
get the
they.
full Kathy Bates effect.
Nor should I. Don't blame them.
I guarantee you.
Snubs in the actress in a supporting role. Jennifer Lopez, Hustlers.
That should be there.
Yeah, but guys, Park So-Dam, Parasite, no question.
Okay.
No question.
Which one was
Daughter.
Yeah, yeah.
The daughter. Okay. Yeah.
no question.
I think it's such a weird thing that none of the actors from Parasite are on here.
That
I think
is
the
weird.
father was
Kind of
excellent.
racist. Yeah,
They
it's
were
fucked
all
up. They were
excellent.
really good. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, as much as it's racist,
double
I think
Scarlet
it's a American thing too. It's like we rarely nominate any of the actors from the international films. I mean,
never happens.
it almost never happens. Benini being the
God, that was when I actually
Roberto
became
Benigni.
disillusioned.
The,
When
one
Benini
of
won
the
Best Actor, I
exceptions.
remember thinking I'm done with the
when
Oscars
Benini
forever.
went bananas,
I guess Banderas is in there, so maybe it
Especially
is.
'cause-
You know what? Okay, I take it back. It is racist.
I mean, there's
Okay,
some
yeah.
two fluff roles. I mean, Scarlett Johansson getting a second nom for Jojo Rabbit
Oh.
Yeah.
is so blaringly
What
wrong to
the
me.
I don't talk about JoJo
and
and the Edge.
What
Margot
the
Robbie's
F?
character in Bombshell is this, the fictional edition
Yeah.
of the three women.
Yeah.
It's weird.
I have no idea why she's in there. That's like her getting nominated for Once Upon a Time.
Florence Pugh, I wish would have gotten nominated for Midsommar. I
Yeah.
really think that was.
But then now that in lead,
in
right?
probably lead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think they
Actor.
were watching Midsommar.
Midsommar. Actor in a supporting role. Brad Pitt's got it on lock.
Brad Pitt
You
locked
guys
it.
think he's locked
You
in there? I
think
mean,
this is
yeah.
a tough call?
This
I thought
category
Pesci-
was
I don't
surprised.
know.
some pedigree with Pesci,
Okay,
maybe.
I thought this
That's
was a
where I'm
lock,
at.
but-
That's where I'm at, Brother
Yeah.
Nathan. I'm thinking
Pesci, okay.
I'm thinking Pesci will and Pesci should.
Just because he alone has a
But
great
Pesci,
performance. in
Pesci
that.
won't show up. He hasn't showed up to any
He
press.
doesn't like this stuff.
Yeah.
He's not going to be there?
But
I don't
has
think
Pitt,
he will.
Well, How
Really?
about this? Has Pitt ever won? Has he ever won an Oscar? This is
No
something.
way.
It's good TV. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I think a
It's
lot of these
great
people are like
TV.
looking
No,
at
but-
these things.
All right, I'm gonna say Pitt is gonna win it, but it should go to Pesci. That's
Yes.
that's my
That's
call.
what.
Is that the
Interesting.
official
You guys,
take?
wow. Okay, so I'm the only one who thinks Pesci's going to win.
Pesci's not going to win
I think
this.
Pitt's
Nah.
got it.
So hold on before we move on. So you're saying Pesci's not going to win because he didn't campaign?
because he doesn't respect the process.
He didn't
Uh-huh.
play the game. Brad
Okay.
Pitt's
Brad,
been out there
Brad
every
Pitt's
night.
wearing name tags.
Okay.
Yeah.
Pitt supports, the main character, like it literally, and like it's one of those roles like Cuba Gooding Jr. and Jerry Maguire, where
Right,
he literally
right.
is pushing the main guy.
Pesci's doing that
Uh,
in Irishman.
Pesci I think the nomination might be the highlight there. You know, that might be the because I think he's great in it too. But
One snub, Ray Liotta in Marriage Story.
Yeah,
Loved
for
him.
sure.
if you got Dern on there, you gotta have Ray Liotta.
Yeah, he was
the-
fantastic.
He's the other side of that coin.
I thought
you know?
Liotta was the glue holding that movie together.
Yeah.
And he was
So
singularly
good.
good. Like he comes in.
He was huffing
I wish
glue.
I wish the whole movie was Liotta's character.
But
Yes.
again, and you brought him up earlier,
Goodwill,
Bischke.
yeah.
Defoe, huge snub here, and in my opinion, should be not even included. He should win the whole thing.
Defoe should win Best Actor and Actress and supporting everything.
Yeah,
like,
I
just
mean,
give it all
he
to
should
him.
be
That
honored
is a
for that performance.
barnacled beast.
Was he?
Yeah.
of a
It will be
performance.
discussed. It
Was
will
he
be
up for a
discussed.
nomination last year for the Van Gogh? role?
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
he was.
yes.
So
Best-
Did anyone see that?
No.
Okay, very good.
No, I
sir.
didn't see it. Best Director, Sam Mendes, 1917.
Yeah,
he's gonna
probably.
win it.
Has
That's what
to
I think
be.
as well, but I think, of course,
Bong.
Parasite.
Director
Bong
Bong.
deserves.
Yeah,
Bong
director
I think
deserves.
Bong
maybe
deserves.
he'll be an upset. I mean, you got to watch this one a little bit.
Yeah.
It's not so clear cut. I think Mendes, the achievement of 1917 is the direction.
He's
It's
got it.
incredible. It's
But
incredible. But Bong,
Parasite
though,
can't, exist
that's
without the
I
direction.
mean,
It's
yeah, I
incredible.
agree. I mean, that's about as well directed a movie as we've seen in years.
And
you
who
know?
did he knock out there? I mean, who are the other directors you think got snubbed right here?
I think Almodovar definitely should be included in
Almodovar,
this
for
list.
sure.
It's his most personal
Over Joker,
film.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's his most personal film. It's a lot quieter than it's a lot more like
Yeah.
yeah.
We'll
It's
get
just
to-
it's
we'll
not
get to
quite
him.
as
Is
Is
flashy.
this Joker stuff going to age well?
How the
Like,
fuck is
how are we
Todd
gonna-
Phillips Oscar nominated?
How are we
My
going to look
mind is
back
blown
on
right now.
this and see all this Joker nominee
Oh, we'll
stuff?
talk
Guy
about
who
Joker.
directed
I think it's
Due
just-
Date and Old School
think
is
Joker-
Oscar nominated, brah.
Well,
I think
last year, Green
reframing
Book.
Joker and
All
the
right.
concept of Joker goes
We're moving
to-
on, folks.
Moving on.
Adapted screenplay. What's your prediction?
See, adapted. This is where I
Irishman?
think
This is a tough one.
This is where I think they might go Greta.
I
Just
think
I think
Greta-
they're going
save
Greta
face.
too.
I think they're going Greta.
I
Little
think
Women.
will win Greta.
Joker doesn't have a chance. I mean,
Irishman, though.
Zalian-
Irishman's not going to win anything else.
Zalian
So-
could, but
Alien's
I-
a great screenwriter.
No, when people
just-
think of The Irishman, they don't think of an amazing script. They
That's
just-
what
they
I
think of
agree,
the Uncanny
yeah.
Valley.
I think they got to give it to Greta because she got snubbed for the best director.
Well, I think how daring her
You
adaptation.
know what
is,
I'm going to
that's how she'll
say
get it.
about who got snubbed here, though? Micah Fitzerman Blue and Noah Harpster for A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood. I think that film is so underrated. It was an incredibly difficult thing to make a movie about Mr. Rogers, especially in the year after that documentary
Right.
came out, and have it be not a saccharine, schmaltzy piece of shit, but a true modern fairy tale, and that doesn't center on Rogers, but doesn't make you wish that it did either.
Right.
You've convinced me to see it.
We're
I will
excellent.
see it.
I saw
should,
that
you
film.
should.
I saw
Really
that
should.
film on a day that I really needed it. Like I really needed that spirit of him, and so it hit me in a good way.
I will watch.
I thought
And that's the ethos of Rogers, is what the movie's
the
about.
writer who's
yeah.
in that, who it centers around his story, I think he was miscast. I thought that actor was miscast. He's
Liked
the
him.
guy
Matthew
from The
Rhys,
Americans.
yeah.
he looks like a serial killer.
I
all
needed
right, We
someone
can't
to
get
do
stuck
both.
in the.
Okay.
We can't get
We're
stuck.
moving
in the,
on. We're moving on.
We can't get stuck.
Nathan's capsule.
We'll talk about it later.
We
We'll
can't
talk
get
about it later.
stuck in the neighborhood, folks. We got to go on to original screenplay.
It is here though.
Can you
amongst
fucking
the
believe
films. It's here.
1917's nominated? Get the fuck out
Here's
of here.
what I think. Bong will win because Mendes is going to be given the other
You guys
stuff.
are-
No,
You guys are out of
I
control.
think
It's
Knives
Tarantino.
Knives Out is going to
Oh,
win.
interesting.
I think it's Tarantino.
I think it's
'cause
Tarantino.
Oscars
Tarantino
love
all the
Hollywood.
way.
No, I say
I
Knives
think
Out is
the
going to win,
movie
but it should be
itself-
Marriage Story.
The movie itself is complete. I mean, it's
This
completely
is-
original screenplay. It's about Hollywood. I mean, it's going to win. I think
This
it
is
has,
QT's most ungang. What's the
But
word?
people
I'm
love
looking
it. People love
Unwieldy.
it.
Unwieldy. It's just this is not a great
is.
screenplay.
It's self-indulgent.
This is- yeah, I
It's
mean,
People
aware
love
of
it
it.
though, and it's
The
not.
shape of
it's
this
not gonna win
script is a
anything
mess.
else. Yeah, it's not going to win anything else. I think he's going to win.
Oscars
They lo-
love blowing themselves.
and they
Yeah,
love
yeah.
revisionists. That I mean, it's going to be.
it's Bong, baby.
And Tarantino makes good TV going up
I
there.
hope
He's
it's-
going to jump. He's going to
Yeah.
do jumping jacks and.
Yeah.
And if he wins, I guess that's the third time. The only other person who's won 3 in the original screenplay category was Woody Allen.
But I think
Yeah.
that's why they won't
So that's-
give it to him.
Rest in
They've given
peace.
it to him
I wanted to
enough.
call it the Quentin Award.
Yeah.
I also think Pedro should have been there, and the Eggers brothers for Lighthouse. I think
Interesting.
that's a script completely puts you in the space of that world, and it's very difficult, I think, to write a true 2 actors in one building on one rock.
I
And-
think,
and,
yeah, for
uh,
sure. I mean, that's something too. I think the dark horse for me here is Marriage Story, though. I think if you look at how unwieldy, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is, and how chunky it is from afar, it'll still win. Marriage Story is tight and more linear, and I think
Yeah.
that one, he's a writer director.
I would
It's
prefer,
true.
I would prefer that or Bong. Bong.
I don't think Bong has a shot.
Has-
but I
probably
think it's a great
doesn't have a
screenplay.
International feature, no longer foreign film. Parasite wins. Okay, on to the next one. Documentary feature.
Parasite wins, bud.
But
But
Birds of Passage, Transit, Portrait of a Lady on Fire all should be in the conversation. And,
Okay.
Yeah.
documentary feature. The only one I've seen is American Factory. Loved it.
Great
and that goes for everyone in the Academy, so that'll win it.
And
Honeyland
That's the one with
is
any-
kind of incredible, though.
Did you see Honeyland? Okay.
Yeah, it's incredible.
I need to watch that.
You won't believe.
What's the premise?
It's about this woman in this small village in Eastern Europe, and in just like a truly dirt poor village, and she's raising honeybees, and then this family moves in next door and brings in their cattle, and they start raising bees as well, and they fuck with her entire livelihood. She used to walk 3 hours into town.
It's like Macedonia.
It is in Macedonia. Yeah. And
Could have a human interest angle.
you won't. It's one of these docs that you can't believe that these people are behaving this way, knowing a camera's there. They have no awareness. It feels like that the
Yeah.
camera is
I'll
there.
check it out.
It's neon, too.
It's on Hulu.
It's well worth a watch. It's kind of a unique film for sure.
they're going to give it to American Factory because Obama.
They want
The
the
Obamas.
Does Obama on stage?
No, they
with-
won't be on stage.
Okay.
It'll be the directors
Yeah,
on
well,
stage. Animated feature film.
Rocky terrain here.
Toy Story 4.
I think
Yeah.
4 was what I
Toy
thought
Story
was-
I would
3.
bet on Toy Story.
Toy Story 3
Missing
won.
Link, though. This
I
Missing
thi-
Link
I think
is
this
a
Missing Link
strong
is Dark Horse.
Yeah.
Because
I haven't seen
the
any-
animation
I
is
have
very
not seen a
complicated.
one.
I have not seen any of them. Yeah.
Tough call.
And Missing Link
Missing
won the
Link,
Globe.
it seems.
I saw Toy Story 4. It was
It was I don't know if it's
It has
another.
some
like a
feels.
2-bone
It was all right.
So
Moving on to
Missing
credit.
Link is the Dark Horse. Production design. I really want Once Upon a
Hollywood.
Time in Hollywood to
Yeah.
win. I think it's going to win.
I think
agree.
it will win.
It
I
should
think
win.
that's, that's the award it deserves.
Because that's the Academy remembers.
JoJo
They're
has some
gonna follow.
flashy stuff in it, doesn't it?
But you know,
Fuck
can,
that.
can we
I
bring,
think
can we bring it back?
1917 is pretty impressive. Too,
I agree.
With the broken down, the broken down, the broken
1917
down
I
is going to
agree.
win.
town, and also
Can we bring
the
it
warfield.
back though to the film of the year, to Parasite again, and that house?
Yeah.
that
Wow.
incredible house was a build,
They built
and they
that.
built
both of it too.
both.
The
That's right,
flooded
the
shitty
subterranean.
basement.
Yeah,
And it's
the
plays
whole
a role in
street.
it. For sure.
Absolutely. And I think
Oh, they all
also
deserve
High
it.
Life deserved for a smaller film,
Yes.
visionary production design for that movie.
That one just did
High Life
campaign,
keep coming
right?
back.
That was
A lot of
good.
High
It
Life
was
love.
campaign.
It was
Too
too
strange,
too
but I-
early too. Yeah.
It
Okay,
is
but for
too,
I'm just
yeah.
saying, for my money, it
Yeah.
deserves some love there. I think.
sure.
Yeah.
Film editing.
This is Paris.
This is tough. This is really
I'm
tough.
gonna predict Parasite, and I really want it to win.
I'm going to
gonna-
predict Ford
I'm
v.
going to
Ferrari.
predict Ford
v.
versus
Ferrari.
Ferrari. Yeah.
Okay.
Because you know what it comes down to? These Academy voters are thinking, okay, now what's editing? Okay, the car races. Yeah, that was exciting. There was a lot of cuts.
The most edits.
The most.
Yeah, the most.
Flashy editing.
Should have been
Yeah.
in the mix. Ronald Bronstein and Benny Safdie for Uncut Gems. That movie is on tilt. That absolutely had fantastic editing.
Yeah.
Throughout.
Propulsive.
Propulsive.
Hard charges.
This next one's a special.
Cinematographer.
It's Deacons, baby.
Deacons
Deacons
again,
dunking.
finally dunking on
This,
the
this is some
Academy.
really complicated filming too, like over where he hovers over an inch of water and then they go up through.
It has to be, dude.
The
Trench
fact
Valley.
that
I
we
mean, it's
saw
just-
it in Burbank and the Deacons credit at the end got a standing ovation from
Yeah.
much of the crowd was incredible.
His name is known now. Like, he is a cinematographer, and people
He
know it.
deserves all of it. dude.
I'd be remiss to not mention though that Lawrence Sher for Lighthouse did an incredible.
Oh, Jaron Blaschke.
Yeah,
The reason I
Jaron-
like him is because he's very close to Bischke.
It is kind of like
in his name.
CHK.
And I also kind of hope he wins. Deacons got his award, but he deserves it
Deacons
again.
could get
Deacons had a lot of heavy
2 or
lifting.
3 more awards, and it wouldn't be enough.
All of these films look freaking phenomenal. I think
Yeah.
Joker looked phenomenal. It was color timed beautifully.
Lighthouse.
And
Lighthouse
Once Upon a
was
Time in Hollywood.
the Irishman was breathtaking.
The
freaking
cinematography
crazy great.
and Lighthouse is pretty.
Any
great.
snubs for the cinematography award?
Avengers Endgame.
I feel good with this category.
Yeah, Hoyt Van Hoytema for Ad Astra. But
Well,
we'll
where's,
come back to that.
where's
Okay.
Parasite though? Cinematography.
We're coming
that was
back
incredible.
to Ad
Absolutely,
Astra.
but I don't
Fuck.
feel like there's anyone who's not in this category that shouldn't
Sure.
be.
Yeah, and I'm glad Lighthouse is there. That's cool.
Visual effects. What's going to win?
The
Avengers. What?
The Irishman.
Lion King.
Whoa, what?
Best
Lion King.
visual, it's split
1917,
between two
I think.
papers here,
Not
so.
the highest grossing film of all time, Avengers Endgame?
I think 1917 could sneak one in here. Am I?
Oh no, The Lion King.
Visual.
The
Lion King, number
yeah.
one.
Let me look at the nominees. I'm
a big
rooting.
upset. Dark Horse, Star Wars,
I'm
Rise
rooting-
of Skywalker.
I'm rooting for the
Best
Irishman.
visual effects. I mean,
Why?
They always give it to a showy.
because it's a hilarious victory for them.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think it's one of the showier ones.
Costume design.
Now this, I think, Once Upon a Time, Arian
No,
Phillips.
Little Women all the way.
Little Women.
Because they got to make those. Yeah.
Those period
You only got like
pieces.
one suit for Joker. Jojo Rabbit had a lot of
You know,
I think Once Upon a Time with all the Sharon Tate stuff and the two main guys with all the Western.
You can get
gear
that
and
at a
stuff.
thrift
It's really
store.
fun.
I again want to just ring the bell for Uncut Gems and say
Jesus.
contemporary.
For costume design?
Yes,
Themed,
because
themed.
contemporary films rarely get the acknowledgement they deserve. Contemporary set films for costumes, we always award the period
More
dramas,
complicated
and
ones, yeah.
I get it, but I
That's
just
because they
I
have
think
to create everything. Yeah.
yeah, but I think that the character, the strong characters of that movie, really, if you look at the wardrobe, is pretty wonderful. There's so much character comes out, and how even the small day players just jump out of the woodworks.
All right,
and-
move them along, Bish.
True.
Am I
talking
wrong?
about
Am I wrong?
No, you're
Moving
not.
along.
Not sound mixing and sound editing. Let's tackle these together. I think 1917 is going to. 1917 has got the mixing.
Yep.
I think editing is going to go to Ferrari.
Oh, I think editing will go for right
'Cause of
it's
Vroom Vroom?
flashier and vroom vroom
Because
and
of
coming
vroom,
around those
cut, vroom, vroom.
I mean, Star Wars has a fucking chance.
I think
but
it's called Cut Vroom Vroom in Japan.
I would say mixing. I mean, it has to be like 17 because of how
gives a
complicated.
shit?
some
Who
of
gives a
that
shit?
stuff is.
We're
These
getting.
guys are artists too.
We're getting to the
man.
bottom. We're
I
getting to
know,
the
I'm
bottom.
Right,
sorry,
Ben
I'm sorry.
Burt's been on there. You know what I mean? Like these guys
I'm
are.
just
These guys
joking.
make
We're
it
getting
all
to the
work.
bottom.
Just
Lucas is
joking.
just cranky because he texted
It
me
doesn't make
after
good TV.
after 1917.
Technical
He
words
said
should be a
2.5
day later.
bones top.
Oh wow!
Barely.
Wow! Goodness.
Yeah,
Oh,
we're getting to the bottom,
flat.
folks. We're getting to the
It's a
bottom.
pancake.
Original.
That's all gonna come out.
Original song. We all saw it on the Lodgecast.
I hate this category.
Rocket Man.
Yeah, I always hate this shit too.
Elton John.
None of these deserve
lyrics
any
by
of this.
Bernie Taupin.
That's-
I'm gonna
what?
love me again. Original song.
No,
I'm protesting this.
It's gonna
I'm
be
thinking Newman.
It's
They
going to be
love him.
Harriet Tubman.
They love Newman. dude.
Harriet
They
Tubman.
love Newman.
Stand up.
Yeah.
For a second, I thought that was for Marriage Story. Wouldn't Randy Newman do
They
the
never
score?
nominate interesting music.
How are
in this
you gonna
category. It
invite
stinks.
Elton John to the Oscars and not give him the award? That's
gets,
what I.
This
said,
gets
you
back
know?
to the actual program that is the Oscars. They want good TV, and sometimes
That's
they just
true.
do basic, middle of the road. What's popular?
But we all know the big.
Surprise, Frozen 2's not.
It's
on.
going to be Elton John.
Elton John. We all know the big snub here was Beautiful Ghost, written by
Yes.
Taylor Swift and Andrew Lloyd Webber for Cats. Now, if you don't put this movie on, you would have had the most spectacular performance
Yes.
of a song at the Oscars.
Interpretive dance.
Beautiful Ghosts, interpretive dance.
Ghosts and cats dancing together.
Yeah.
It flopped, guys. They're not going to have it on the Oscars. Okay, let's move on.
Okay, original score. Joker, Hildur, Good
Really?
Nadotter. She won the Golden Globe.
Goodman
I looked it up online. J-Lo flubbed her name, so I can flub her name. Hildur
She's
Gudnadottir.
got a hard name.
I think
I
is
think Thomas Newman is going to take it. I mean,
Okay.
it's his bid.
They're not
triumph.
going to
Score
give
was
John
the-
Williams one last.
The score was the worst thing about 1917. It was just all
this is
over
kind
the
of a
place.
wild
I'm
category.
talking about Randy Newman. I'm sorry. There's a lot of Newman.
No,
Yeah.
I think Randy should win. I think Thomas will win.
Thomas Newman.
You know,
Too many
Alexander
Newmans.
Desplat has won.
The Newman
He has
family is
won in the
all
past.
over the music category in the history of the
They'll probably give it to John Williams because it's the loudest score.
That's
you
what
know?
I think.
It's like
And
the,
it's
the
the
most
end
score.
of
of the saga.
a saga.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, I think 1917 would be my vote for this. But then there's Randy Newman has some traction. He has won some awards for this. I'm not. I can't even remember his score
I
because it
didn't
ends on a
like his
Sondheim.
score particular for
Oh, it was good.
for Marriage Story. I thought it was a little too kooky for the movie.
Consider this.
It's
though.
very New York, though,
Every
and that's what we're
time
supposed to do.
Oscar voters leave Dodger Stadium victorious, Randy Newman.
No, I love Randy Newman.
We
Don't
love
get me
LA.
wrong. Don't get me wrong.
There's just it's in the blood, man. You want to give Randy Newman the gold statue.
One snub, James Newton Howard for A Hidden Life. That is a beautiful score. I recommend seeing this movie. It didn't play very long here in LA, but it is
Kind of odd that it didn't get any nominations, really.
yeah, probably Malik's best film since what was the one?
You serious? You serious, Dave?
Proof of Life. No,
I didn't see it.
Tree of Life.
Tree of Life.
You
I'm
gave
sorry.
it 2.5 bones.
I did give it 2.5 bones, but I recommend seeing it.
Night at Cups. Lately, it's been rough with him.
Makeup and hairstyling, bombshell with a bullet.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
this guy,
agreed.
Kazuo, he did the transformation of Gary Oldman as
Tiptoes? Dracula?
No, Dracula. No, the last one. Sorry.
Churchill?
Darkest Hour.
Darkest Hour.
Yeah.
He did the makeup for Gary Oldman. And he won, and so he's a fantastic artist, and he did some very interesting new things with Bombshell, like
Lithgow to Roger Ailes.
internal.
Lithgow was amazing.
Bravo.
Yeah.
Did you guys see Bombshell?
We did watch Bombshell.
Oh, I haven't seen it yet.
I missed it.
I need to get a screener.
Not great,
Yeah.
but
great.
makeup, great. We're moving on to the top 10 films of 2019, ladies and gentlemen.
You were keeping this at a brisk pace.
We are moving them right along.
I'm very impressed with your production skills.
Yes, and I think what we're going to do is the way we're situated in the edge, I'm going to start and we're going to end with the Lodge Master. We're going to rotate our top 10 countdowns.
Now,
And
Lucas,
I love it so
you often complain that you can't or you won't do a top 10
Whoa, no, I can't. It's hard. It's really hard.
because you didn't like 10 movies this year?
Correct.
Oh,
To
wow.
me, your top 10 or your top 5, whatever it is, are like the most rewatchable.
So you're going to join us at 5 like you did last year?
I mean, I have my 5, but I
Okay.
could maybe throw in like a 6 or a 7. But I can't get to 10. It's impossible.
Well, you let us know when you're ready to jump in.
yes, jump in whenever you feel ready.
Spots could have been for films that you wanted to highlight, though, and wanted us to see.
He doesn't want to highlight
He
it.
doesn't
I
want us to see
added
anything.
certain ones on
Yeah.
my list. Just
Yeah.
so we could
Underwater
talk
was
about
this year, not
I
last
know,
year.
I know.
Wow.
I checked the notes
Four
on
bones,
that.
is that-
Stunning 3.5
Stunning
bones.
3.5
All right,
bones.
all right. Keep us on track.
Number 10 for me, Brother Bischke.
And we're not allowed to argue, right?
And we're not allowed to argue, so
Interject,
you can
though, right?
sigh. Ad Astra. Thank you. There's no love for this movie.
There's love in the backseat.
Okay, good, because that was outnumbered 3-1 on the podcast, and we weren't able to discuss it too much. I think it's one of the best looking movies of the year. It was my introduction to James Gray. I like the premise of A Heart of Darkness in Space. I thought Brad Pitt and Tommy Lee Jones gave great performances. And I like studios taking a chance on a $100 million movie. It's not an action-filled crowd pleaser, but that's kind of why I liked it. So that's my number 10.
It's got a space baboon. It
does have a space baboon.
We needed a lot more Space Baboon.
Space Baboon, one of the dragons of the year.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Brother Nathan?
yeah.
Number
so
10.
This is a film that's probably not going to be anybody's list, but it's called The Last Black Man in San Francisco. This was a deeply affecting, powerful story, and it was made by this filmmaker. It's a new guy named John Talbot. It's someone I'm going to watch because it didn't quite move like any other film I saw this year. And it's about this guy who he dreams of reclaiming this Victorian home that he grandfather built in San Francisco, and now the whole place of San Francisco, the landscape has changed, and he's really trying to find his place in it. But it has this incredible drama. I don't really want to spoil the whole length of it, but he pretty much has squatters' rights in this house, and there's a tension throughout the film, and there's a friendship, and there's even a cameo, our favorite Danny Glover. So I'd recommend that, and I put that on my list because I want you guys to see that because it's incredibly shot. And there's a real beautiful score, and it's the most affecting film on my list.
Boom.
Nice. I'll check it out.
Lovely.
Jumping over to Brother Zach.
We're skipping Lucas for the
I got no 10.
He's
yeah.
not here
He's
yet.
got no 10.
No
10.
way.
I'm going to kick things off with Climax.
Yes.
Gaspar delivered his most crowd-pleasing and his most harrowing of visions. This movie just hit me like a ton of bricks and has images and sequences that are unforgettable. Highly entertaining.
The opening dance number is amazing.
Yeah.
Highly entertaining and great use of window liquor in a movie.
The greatest use.
The greatest. Lodge Master Matt.
My number 10 is The Beach Bum with a side of Serenity. It's double McConaughey.
Wow, the double McConaughey.
If I'm allowed to do
Tie and
such a
tie.
thing.
Yeah.
I'm
That
fine
totally
for it.
works.
Yeah.
The Beach Bum, I mean, I was just in pure bliss through the whole thing. I was right on its vibe. It's like one time a long time ago, I did LSD and then watched Head by the Monkees, and I'd never fully understood it. But
Nice.
in that headspace, it played like Sesame Street to me. It was so simple to understand and so easy. With The Beach Bum, I was tuned in on that exact same level where I'm like, I get exactly what message you're sending me right now. And that message is pure love and pure light, and that's the meaning of life. And I was buzzing afterwards. It was an ecstatic experience. And for Serenity, just because it's so goofy and it was so hobbled in its release, and it was almost like a dangerous movie to go see, because you're like, what's wrong with this film? And yeah, there's a lot wrong with it, but there's so much right with it. And it pleased me to no end. So
Martin Lawrence too is fantastic in it.
Beach Bum.
In the Beach Bum. He would have been great in Serenity as well. But it was a 1-2 punch from that hit me in different glands that McConaughey really delivered for me this year.
Wonderful. My number 9 is, feel free to decide, Joker.
That's a deep sigh.
Dude.
You know, we gave
Existential sigh.
this film a lot of grief on the podcast, and I still stand by many of the criticisms laid at it. But I did see it again. And I think the movie captures the zeitgeist. You come out feeling like you just got a text message that, another mass shooting's happened. And for what it's worth, that's kind of a sign of the times. And I think it was a cathartic experience for the audience.
Well, Scorsese's always been in style, too. So.
And Scorsese, yeah. I mean, the movie is the highest grossing R-rated film of all time. And it's really not that violent if you go back and watch it. But Todd Phillips created a tone, and Joaquin Phoenix performance, which he'll win for. It was a real punch in the gut. And much like the 70s movies that it was ripping off.
Thank you.
Come on.
It was a punch in the gut, and I like a punch in the gut. And if you want Batman to come save the day, this is not the film for you. Okay, Nathan.
All right, I got, for my number 9, I got another A24 picture called The Farewell. Okay, this was another one. I wanted to definitely add movies on my list that were the most affecting, the most emotionally, the ones that resonated when I had to come down and put them down to
follow
10.
your heart.
This one definitely captured complicated family dynamics. I mean, it was poignant. It was well acted. It married cultural specificity with universal, like, relatable themes of any kind of family that would have, like, everybody has these kind of things. Awkwafina is great in this.
Mm-hmm.
I never really looked at her. Like, there's, I thought she was a comic. I thought she was, like, just kind of a wacky, she was always going to be someone who come in and did pinwheels and made your movie a little, and she's kind of doing that with some of the roles she's taking. But this one, someone saw something in her that was vulnerable, and I really liked her in this, and had some of the funniest scenes of any of the films on my list. So, number 9, The Farewell, A24, again, picking great material.
They've done it again.
Good choice, man. Good choice. Respect the choice.
All right, Brother Zach.
And here
We should make a point that we're skipping over
No
LT.
number
Round
9.
we
but,
go.
But I will chime in for number 8. I put a list together.
Okay.
Okay,
Here we go.
Love it.
He's
Here we
back
go.
on 8.
Number 9, I'm going to put American Factory in here.
Nice.
It's a taste of where we are. It's a view to where we're headed.
It's rough.
Absolutely.
Yes, absolutely.
It's super rough.
You can watch it now. It's on Netflix.
I watched it alone, and I was thoroughly depressed.
You got to watch it, y'all.
It's like what's crazy. What's crazy? It's like that 1985 Ron Howard movie Gung Ho with Michael Keaton, except it is not funny.
real.
Like there's no comedy to it.
Well, I thought when
it's
they were doing
hilarious.
those,
What the
those
fuck are you
dances and
talking about?
performances, there was
Zach's-
quite a bit of humor.
It's Zach's microphone. Yeah, Zach.
Right.
No, I mean, anyway, that's all. It's all good. I'm
drawing
open it up
attention to it.
to discussion.
Okay.
But I would say I was laughing and at times, although it is a sad and harrowing
Dark laughs.
peek into the future.
Very
That's
good.
American Factory, a very excellent documentary that the Obamas brought under their banner. Obviously, they did not make the film.
They
but
handcrafted
they
it.
acquired it at Sundance.
Yeah,
and it was
yeah.
a fine pick for them to start off their
What taste?
shingle. Yeah.
What taste do the Obamas have?
Great taste.
Incredible taste.
Great taste.
His list was
and
pretty
zero
great.
scandals, I might say, for the Barack Obama administration, which is something to look up to these days. So
Very much.
okay.
Lodge Master Matt.
My number 9 is also a documentary slot, and I picked Fire and Fire Fraud. The two documentaries, to a lesser extent, Fire Fraud, but they're the two documentaries about the ill-begotten Fire Festival.
Yes.
Oh man.
And
It
it's
came
mainly,
up on some lists of the best.
It's not like, I don't know about like filmmaking quality, but I am so enamored with the subject matter that
My favorite moment of one of the documentaries was when the assistant was willing to suck the customs
that's
guy's
fire.
cock
Yes.
to get their
Andy
water
King.
delivered. or
Andy
something.
King.
Incredible.
He became an international celebrity for that.
that
A
the one
human meme.
that features in is the better film.
Yeah.
I
I
think.
follow him on Instagram
Agreed.
now. I don't know why,
Yeah.
but
remember the
I
American
just
movie.
remember the day that story broke, that picture of the food that the attendees were served, which was a piece of bread with a slice of like
Tomato or
and cheese, like imitation cheese on it. I was hooked. I was in a restaurant and I stayed in that restaurant reading every fucking word that I
was
could
laughing
find about
hysterically when I found that guy's Twitter thread where it was just one long real time like natural disaster that people pay thousands of dollars to be dropped in.
If you haven't seen these movies, definitely check them out. Yeah. And you'll get a nice concentrated dose of Ja Rule, which we've all missed.
Nah. It ain't fraud. It's false advertising.
They couldn't get a hold of him.
Quick question, Lodge Master. Will all your numbers include 2 films?
That's the last time that's going to happen.
Okay, yeah, we can't.
Okay, just wondering if you're going to have more of a top 20.
Don't worry about it.
Okay, very good. Moving on.
Number 8. Cats.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Lots of films did not live up to our expectations in 2019.
I thought he was going to do that.
I love you.
Jordan Peele's Us was a little disappointing. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood was disappointing to me. The Irishman disappointed me greatly, but Cats lived up to the hype.
How many times in the theater?
I saw it 3 times in the theater, folks.
Yes.
And
Repeater.
Little did we know that 2 years into the Lodgecast, we would have a full movie Salad Dragon, which we were feasted upon. So many
it was a salad bar.
So many hilarious moments and musical numbers. I recently went to some packed screenings at the Burbank Cineplex.
And this is deep in its run.
It's gone now, sadly, but it may be the beginnings of a midnight movie staple.
It has to be.
We'll see what happens, folks. That was my number 8. Cats, Skimbleshanks, I love you. All right, on to Brother Nathan's number 8.
Number 8. So this is going to create some waves, but Once Upon a Time in Hollywood's on my list.
Okay.
And I have to admit that this period in Hollywood and the Manson history in particular is catnip for me. So admittedly, this is a self-indulgent work. It's pure Tarantino. The first viewing was a tidal wave of emotions, not all of them being good ones. But after a second viewing, things started to fall into place for me. I think Brad Pitt's charismatic performance is a real standout. I think it knows exactly what it is. It's a super entertaining movie and should be taken that way. Also, this is a spoiler, but all of us have seen it. The rewriting of the Tate murders and the very ending, the tender ending, marked a new maturity for the filmmaker for me. And I thought he didn't have any more tricks, so I wanted to highlight that.
That's beautiful.
Yes, Tarantino. I'm going to see it again.
And you will have that opportunity as the new Beverly will never stop playing.
The new Beverly will be playing it for...
Anyone want to go see Once Upon a Time?
It's playing Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Every Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
For all of eternity.
All time.
Now starts Brother Lucas's top 8.
I am here.
Can't wait for this.
And I am awake. My number 8 is Climax.
Yes.
I definitely love that opening dance number, which sometimes when I'm getting ready to go to work in the morning, put my shoes on, I just open it up on YouTube, watch that puppy, because it is straight fire.
It'll get you moving.
And it turns me on, it gets me going, starts my day. And also, I'd like to tell people that if you've never taken drugs before, it does kind of show you what it's like to be around people that are tripping.
Very accurate.
It captures
exactly what it's like.
It captures a pretty honest portrayal or authentic grittiness to its truth, and I feel it's Gaspar Noé's most accessible film and a good place for people to start before venturing into deeper waters.
I'd say that's correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
Cosign. It's a great place to start, Lucas. I am going to continue on with my 8th. It is the Colombian film Birds of Passage.
Boom.
Interesting.
I am a big fan of Ciro Guerra's last film, Embrace of the Serpent. Just an incredible, magical film. This one is about a culture that is changed by the drug trade and modernity, and it's an indigenous culture, the Wayu people in Colombia, and how the drug trade in the 70s and the Western hunger for the marijuana and the international drug trade inevitably change the customs and traditions and kind of tears apart these people's way of life. And highly, highly recommend it. Highly recommend Embrace.
Name of the film again?
Birds of Passage.
Birds of Passage. Great. Lodge Master Matt.
Number 8 for me, it's come up before, possibly come up again. It is High Life. What an amazing dragon in that film. And I love the whole vibe of it. I was a little worried again at first that it was Robert Pattinson and a baby. I thought he was going to be swaddling a baby the whole time in space. But oh boy, it went some places and it tickled all of my darkest humorous bones. And I can't thank it enough. I loved that film. It's not for everybody, but for the people that it's for, it's really for them.
Binoche.
Yeah, it's great.
Number 7 for me, Lodge Master beat me to it. Fire, the documentary about Billy McFarland and
That's the one
failed.
Dude, I would have put that on my top 10. I forgot about
27th
those.
Fire Festival. I think the Netflix one's better than the Hulu doc.
Agreed. The Netflix one is
Yeah.
pure. This is Spinal Tap. Waiting for Guffman.
The only thing that
level
Hulu has
comedy.
going for it is that they have the actual organizer.
They do have Billy McFarland interviewed.
Right. They both are good, but the Netflix one it just delivers.
Yeah, the Netflix one is director Chris Smith.
Yep.
Hailed from University of Wisconsin, Milwaukee.
American movie.
My alma mater. I'm also going to throw in an honorable mention to the HBO doc The Inventor about Elizabeth Holmes and Theranos because I think it contains
Good choice.
many great similarities to the Firefest documentary. Both
It is the age of the grifter.
impenetrably optimistic and delusional till the very end.
A bunch of hype and then a crushing reality.
Now they're in prison, so they
Much
got their
like the
comeuppance.
current administration in the
Boom.
White House.
Will they end up in prison? We shall see. On to number 7 for Brother Nate.
Number 7, Climax, baby.
Yeah.
Like all of Gaspar Noé's movies, they're supremely challenging, but rewarding in equal measure. I mean, Climax marks a new sophistication in his already technically brilliant work and is a visually distinctive peak in his filmography, I think. So many stomach-churning, nightmarish images in this. For the brave, this is the most daring film on my list. I think a lot of people should see it if they haven't heard of it. Hypnotic,
Climax.
hallucinatory, and ultimately hair-raising depiction of a party gone way wrong. I loved it.
Bad trip. I love it.
I love that it's on the list for everybody, too.
So
Yeah.
good.
Brother Lucas, number 7.
My number 7 is Marriage Story. I loved Ray Liotta in that, as well as just the humor. Like I thought for some reason it was going to be super heavy-handed, portentous, like Blue Valentine, Kramer versus Kramer drama, and there was some of it, but like every scene's the audition scene. But like by the end, when he like cuts himself and he's bleeding out in front of
Great scene.
the minder, whatever. I was dying. Like I was laughing so hard. I was like, wow, I didn't realize it was gonna be this funny.
I totally agree. I avoided it actually for a while, and then when we saw it and we were laughing and enjoying it so much, I was like, why did I think
Yeah, I'm loving to
that
hear this, guys.
Baumbach
I'm
was not going to be funny?
I've had resistance of recommending it to people early on because I did just see it randomly and I was dragged to it. I mean, it was. And then when I told you guys, I was just like, it was just hard. It was a hard recommend too. It was like, are these guys just not
I
understanding
saw it 2
this?
days ago, and I was pleasantly surprised. I thought it was going to be them screaming at each other for 2 hours, but that's not the case at all.
No.
Check out Marriage Story
Wonderful.
on Netflix.
I didn't give a shit.
Okay. Brother Zach.
Yeah, so my number 7, mention it briefly in the Oscar cast, is A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood. This is a movie that I think it's very hard to do sincere, and it's very hard to do movies that have a lack of like snark and are very, very honest and heartfelt and sincere and make them, again, not schmaltzy. You don't lay on the syrup. And I feel like all this talk about how Gerwig is snubbed from the Boys Club for Best Director, honestly feel like I was much more impressed with Marielle Heller's direction in this film. I think it is a much more impressive feat. And anyone who thinks they know what this movie will be and are avoiding it because they don't need another Mr. Rogers after the documentary, I truly think you should give it a try. You'll be pleasantly surprised. It's very charming and will move you and entertain you. And it's a film that we need right now.
I will stream it. I will stream it for sure.
I think you should see it.
Lodge Master Matt, number 7.
My number 7 is another movie that we all need right now, and that's Under the Silver Lake.
Oh.
It is
No, wait, we can't disparage.
No
For the record,
disparagement. No
Not-
disparagement.
No, we're not.
any disparaging you
Love
do
and light.
will
Love
be
and light. Love and
incorrect.
light. Love and
We
light.
can all have.
And this is an important
Love.
number for me because this is going to show you that I'm following my heart on this, much like Nathan. I have to follow what affected me the most and what pleased me the most, what
I hear you.
tickled me the most.
Yes, yeah.
And Under the Silver Lake tickled me throughout. This is a movie that is hopped up on so much of its own bullshit that it attains a sublimity that I have not seen in any other movie this year. It is so intoxicated with itself, with Brian De Palma, with the very community that we live in, that the Edge is parked in right now, the Echo Park Silver Lake area. It's got mysteries for days. You can follow it on Reddit. People are taking the mysteries and clues deeper and deeper and deeper.
Amen. Amen.
Amazing. You got to see this movie. You got to deal with it.
This is A24 as well, right? A24.
A24.
Yeah.
Number 6, a lot of folks beat me to it. Climax.
Boom.
I will never forget the night that we went to the ArcLight. Zach was there.
We
Lucas,
got climaxed.
Matt was there. We had just watched, if you remember, the bombshell HBO documentary "Leaving Neverland"
Yeah.
with Michael Jackson.
Oh my God.
And we, Matt,
Not on
Lucas, and I
anybody's
had
list.
watched part 1. No, it's not on anyone's list. But our stomachs were,
It churned our stomachs in one direction, and then
well, we were so depressed going in, we needed something to just completely pull us out of our funk.
we need an opiate.
Gaspar Noé delivered.
Yep.
This is a drug trip horror movie that reset our minds and erased our memories, and we're thankful for it. We're very thankful. The DJ and me loved all the music choices that Gaspar made. Mind-blowing opening dance sequence, as we mentioned, and once the LSD sangria kicked in, we were off to the races. What a ride. Check out Gaspar Noé's Climax.
You got to check it out.
Brother Nathan, what's your
All
number
right, number 6.
Getting serious
Creeping up
now.
on it. Yeah, we're creeping up on. I got Lighthouse.
The first showing of the
Lighthouse. Okay, man. Leading with a pair of powerhouse performances, especially William Dafoe. The Lighthouse establishes Robert Eggers as a filmmaker of exceptional talent. It's hypnotic, surreal, confusing, funny, all these shocking, full of farts and mermaids and celestial light. There is more than enough here to make this a cult classic and beyond. Lighthouse.
Boom.
Number 6.
Yeah, I think, does A24 do any promotion of their stuff for Oscars?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I think Uncut maybe had a little, but it didn't.
Yeah, they were
didn't have
pushing.
Because I'm just wondering if that's why these movies weren't nominated.
Well, they got Moonlight. They got their Oscar with Moonlight.
That's true. That's
yeah,
true.
yeah. I
Just
mean, they
barely.
promote. Yeah, just barely.
I think Lighthouse is pretty weird duck to be at the Oscars, but
I don't think
That's
they
true,
pushed
that's
it.
true.
I don't
but
think they pushed
it's
it.
just there's nothing like it, so it
Yeah.
should have got honored.
Yeah, it
especially
got
the actors.
cinematography nomination.
That's true.
Yeah.
They got to release the
It is
colorized version.
Brother Lucas.
My number 6 is Midsommar. Another drug-infused movie for people who might not have never taken hallucinogens. You get a pretty good sense of what it's like to be on mushrooms with people in the country or out in the middle of nowhere.
Mhm. Everything breathing.
And it's like a waking nightmare in sunlight. And got a really original, authentic portrayal of not an abusive relationship, but the boyfriend's kind of a toxic male, not super good, flawed character.
Nice guy.
Yeah, and he gets it so rough in the end. So you got to be careful recommending it to people, but it is definitely something you should watch at least once.
Yep.
Brother Zach.
Yes, sir. Number 6, The Irishman.
Oh, Jesus.
This is a contentious one in The Edge.
But nowhere else in the country or the world, evidently.
Well,
It's
but
probably on a lot of
you
top
know,
tens.
it's a lot of snark online about it took me 5 sittings and I was, dad's falling asleep after eating turkey. Fuck you. Marty is back, baby. Fuck you. Marty's back.
Where did he go?
Marty's back. Joe. Where did he go? Off into making kids movies like Hugo.
Oh, okay.
Okay, he's back in the groove. He's
Operating at full power?
He's hard charging. Actually, I would actually say he's stopped hard charging.
Yeah.
And he's doing the inward stroke.
He's introspecting.
And I think that's what makes this film such a treat. For me, I was laughing throughout. And let me finish, please. Come on.
Love and light. Love and light. Love and light.
have
Love
an
and light. Love and light.
emotional-
was
I
thinking-
think you would say, given what you know about my reaction to Under the Silver Lake, tremendous restraint from the back.
I was
seat
thinking
of
of another disappointing moment in my life, unrelated to this.
Love and light.
not only Marty's triumphant return to spectacular filmmaking, but I think one of the most understated Joe Pesci performances ever. Great return from him. Al and Bobby D's best performances in years. The movie is a great capstone on a career of violent gangster movies and a reflection on why men act the way they do. I really loved it. Now, how does it play on the couch with Netflix? I don't know yet. I saw it in the theater. I'm going to watch it again. But for me, it was number 6.
Very good. Very good. All right, on to Lodge Masters number 6.
Midsommar for me as well.
All right.
Moving on.
Number 5. Something keeps beating me to it. American Factory, my favorite doc of the year.
Nice.
Hope it wins Oscar night. A complex culture clash between the Chinese and the Americans when the Chinese manufacturing company sets up a factory in Ohio. Jesus Christ. There's a 4-bone sequence where the managers from Ohio go to China.
It's amazing.
I can't stress enough how much you have to see this sequence. I will not spoil what happens there, but
Ohio goes to China. That's
Ohio
all you need
goes
to know.
to China. That's all you need to know. And lastly, when it comes to the global economy, China is going to bury us.
Yeah, do we not know that yet?
Well, this one is the nail in the coffin. See this doc. It's on Netflix. Okay, number 5, Brother Nathan.
Oh, number 5. All right, now we're getting into the nitty gritty.
Top 5.
I have Pain and Glory by writer-director Pedro Almodovar. Drawing on his own life to rewarding effect here, a masterful, melancholy, tender, lacerating self-examination filled with the color and spectacle of all of his best works. But at Almodovar, at 70, I mean, this is the most astonishing thing I could say is he's continuing to grow as a filmmaker. I love seeing him direct Antonio Banderas, especially in this role, which is obviously a stand-in for the director himself. This was probably the most emotional I got in a film. I thought it was, there wasn't a misstep. There's something about him that's just, his filmmaking, they're yummy. It's just yummy. His filmmaking to me is yummy. And every time that one comes out and it gets these amazing reviews, I'm like, damn, I'm going to love this.
Yeah,
so
seemed very personal.
Almodovar.
I loved it.
And with Antonio, who he's come up with, I think it's really a special film for me this year. Number 5, Pain and Glory.
Rooting for Banderas. No, Lucas.
Okay, now we're in my top 5.
Yes.
And,
So this is
We're in that
official.
world.
official.
This
Now
is
he's
official.
playing. The sleeves are rolled up.
And my number 5 is a little movie called Serenity.
Yes.
This is crazy, right? So I didn't give it a high bone count.
Fist bump to the back
Lucas
of the
came to
edge.
play.
But honestly, I was thinking about it, and I've rewatched it since I saw it in the theater a couple times. Once alone, and then a second time with someone who had never seen it before. And to get to watch it with somebody who's never seen it before, to feel
Priceless.
It is. It's like I can't describe it. Like you get a high from it. There's like a rush. So I think this is a movie that's going to stick with me through the years, and whenever I meet some new peeps, I'm going to put it on. I'm going to blow their mind.
It's like a third date movie.
Yes, exactly. Yes.
I still got to see it. I haven't seen it.
Oh,
It's burning a hole in
I'll
my
have you
watch
come over.
list.
I'll
Cynic
come over.
confessional? Have not seen it either.
I'd
No-
see it
no
with-
spoilers.
I almost
with
watched
an
it on the
audience.
airplane.
I'd see it
Almost
with-
saw it on the plane.
What I love about it, honestly, forget about the concept or the plot, is the acting is so committed.
It's committed.
Like
Yeah.
every
All the way.
performer is dialed in. They're taking their work very seriously. They're invested, and it made me feel something. Like emotionally, like I was moved.
There's
a
something
point.
to it. There's something to it.
Absolutely. Brother Zach.
Number 5, kicking off the top 5. Hashtag Farts and Mermaids, The Lighthouse.
Yes.
I don't know what else there is to say that I didn't say in the Edge on that rooftop that night.
That fateful night.
That fateful night. But the movie has stuck with me. It is a singular vision. And as Brother Nathan mentioned, Eggers is as well established now as a filmmaker to watch what he does from here on out. And I absolutely loved it.
Lodge Master Matt, what's your number 5?
Hashtag Farts and Mermaids for me, too.
Yes. We're going around the room.
Great time.
All right, moving on to number 4. The Beach Bomb.
Yeah.
Nice.
Amazing.
A
gonna
lot
get
of
weird.
synergy
I think
with
it's-
the
yeah.
Lodge brothers.
I
Yeah,
think
it's gonna
we're
get
starting
weird
to
here.
connect. We're starting to connect.
Starting to mind meld.
We're starting to mind meld, and Matthew McConaughey as Moondog gives us a hell of a good time. Harmony Korine's follow-up to his amazing Spring Breakers did not disappoint me. For the podcast, I was a little drunk, little stoned, and
As
that's
one should be.
That's the way you want to see it. I saw it sober later. It was shaved off maybe a half a bone, but you know what? This is a party movie. Go see it, a little drunk, a little stoned, go with some friends. McConaughey and the McConaissance continue. It's got Snoop Dogg, Martin Lawrence, Jimmy Buffett, great cinematography, great editing, great
Forgot about
music.
Buffett.
Yeah. Harmony Korine probably set fire to his career, but you know what? He had fun doing it, and so did I.
And that's what it's all about.
That's what it's all about. Beach Bum was my number 4.
Go check it out, y'all.
Brother Nathan.
All right, number 4. I'll do this quickly. Marriage Story's on my list for sure. Noah Baumbach. I mean, I've been following his kind of journey for a while. There's been a lot of hits, a lot of misses, mostly misses. But I thought this one was a great mix of like the pleasure and pain. It cuts so deep, it leaves a scar. I thought this is the one that was the most emotional of his catalog. I think it's one of his best films, and it's also his less like self-conscious. This one kind of felt like he wrote it, put it into motion, and it became something more than his work. Because sometimes you feel him kind of, knocking it down. So Marriage Story, I think the performances are excellent. I think Adam Driver was excellent. Scarlett Johansson wasn't super annoying and kind of sang for me. So I love when he sings Sondheim at the end.
Yes. I prefer ScarJo to Greta Gerwig, but that's my personal taste. Brother Lucas.
Number 4 is Crawl.
Brother Lucas
I knew
loves
that
him
was
some
coming.
gators and some water-themed
Crawl
films.
was Quentin Tarantino's number 1 favorite movie of 2019. It's my number 4 because it should have been a VR experience. It should have been a 4DX, water spraying, wind blowing, seat shaking, strobe light rumbling of a movie, of a ride, of a thrill ride experience. But even without all the bells and whistles of that, as a 2-dimensional traditional film screening, it got me. I was with Brother Ian next to me. We had the whole clan in the row, and I was squirming and worming and burming, and it got under my skin. And I wish the movie had a better story and a plot, like the one we cooked up on the Lodgecast. And I wish
That was a good live rewrite.
yeah, and I really wish there were more peaks and valleys, and I wish they kind of built more to the suspense and tension and release of that. But
That live rewrite was so good
It
that
was
I
so-
remember it as that.
Bible.
Yeah.
And I'm like, Crawl was really fucking good.
no, but the reason it's on my list is because she has a gun and she puts her hand with the gun in
Yes.
the alligator's mouth and she unloads on it.
Yep.
And that like cements its status for like a freaky, midnight movie that you watch like on the
Lucas, I
couch
love you for
stoned.
that. That's
Yeah.
exactly what you should be looking for in these films.
And Lodgecast listeners, do yourself a favor and go back and listen to our Crawl episode. Brother Lucas was on fire in that episode.
So was Lodgemaster though.
Possibly on other things.
We were both dialed in to the rewrite.
Completely dialed in. One of my favorite episodes of all time.
True.
All right, Brother Zach.
Number 4 for me is the Mendes Deacon collaboration of 1917. This is not just a
number 4.
silly. Yes, number 4.
Okay.
This is not just a silly feudal
There's Lucas's
exercise
sigh.
in technical showmanship. It completely immerses you in the experience. You cannot look away. You cannot escape. And it is just an incredible visceral experience. I was pretty floored and astonished by the achievement of it. And yep, that's my number 4.
Very
My
good.
number 4 is also 1917.
Very
I was most
Lodgemaster, we're syncing up,
We're
baby.
syncing up.
Yeah,
Our menstruation is syncing
that's
up.
right. Our moon cycle,
And
our moon dog cycle.
I do feel like my admiration for it is mostly from a technical perspective, just because I wasn't super, enraptured in the story necessarily. But what a technical accomplishment it is. It's like, holy shit, I got to give it up. It looked amazing, sounded amazing. What else do you want from a fucking war movie? It's amazing. I'm
Best
into
picture. Okay.
it. And it'll be best picture.
Now we're down to the top 3, ladies and gentlemen. Number 3, Shadow.
What?
Shadow? Does anyone in the edge
Wait a
know what
minute,
this movie
what is this?
Nobody
I love you, Dave. I
saw
love you.
this movie except for Nate and I.
Shadow?
Nate and I saw this. Technically came out in 2018 in China, but it was released here in 2019, so that's what I go by. It's by Zhang Yimou, one of my favorite filmmakers. Raise the Red Lantern, Hero,
Oh wow! Yeah.
House of Flying Daggers.
Holy shit! How did I not know about this?
Completely
I got a copy of it.
effortless and operatic action from Zhang Yimou in top form. played for like a week at the AMC. I'm so glad I caught it on the big screen.
Thanks for inviting me.
Oh, I'm sorry. Makes Avengers.
Yeah, fuck you.
I'm sorry. Makes Avengers Endgame look like Child's Play. This guy is putting
Like the Child's Play remake?
He's like the Child's Play remake. He is putting American action filmmakers to shame, and he continues to do so. Bravo, movie maestro Zhang Yimou. I love you.
Wow.
Nice.
Brother Nathan.
Dave, I'm kind of startled here. Number 3, Shadow. Okay, guys.
Shadow. You're in cahoots. You sleeper cell motherfuckers.
Shadow, guys. Shadow is
Lot
beautifully
of cycles
filmed,
syncing
inventively
up.
choreographed. It thrills like no other film on my list. It is a true epic that finds Zhang Yimou near peak form, making up for his Great Wall misstep completely. Because Great Wall came out. Don't forget that shit.
Yeah, Matt Damon.
This is all coming into context.
You've had a few
It has the
missteps,
goods, both as a spectacle and as an enjoyable, dense political thriller. Shadow is absurdly entertaining, has an incredible final act battle that is, you got to see it. It's incredible. The only thing I would say for viewers who want to see this, once you get past the first, I'd say 40 minutes, the introductory hurdle, the rest of the film is well worth your wait. That's all I'm going to say.
It's a little confusing to get started off with. I'll just put that as a disclaimer.
I'm telling
But
you,
you've got to see this film. You've got to see.
Wow.
Yeah.
You'll know right away.
Only on the
I
Lodgecast.
am queuing it up.
Only on the Lodgecast.
And I pre-ordered the
Zhang Yimou's
Blu-ray and I got
Shadow.
it in my house right now. So.
Okay,
Yes,
let's
That's my number 3.
start the satellite.
Nice
All right.
work, boys.
Brother Lucas, what do you got?
My number 3 is a good one. It's a good movie to put on for people who have never seen it before, and odds are they have not. And that is The Fanatic.
Whoa.
Yes. This was one of the 3.5 boners that I saw this year. I know I'm a little biased for personal reasons, but it is a tour de force performance by a living legend, just going full for broke.
Lodge legend.
Yes.
A lodge legend. That is John Travolta playing the title character of Moose. It is an entertaining, exploitative kind of B-picture, slasher, stalker, psychodrama. And even though, it was shot, I think, out of state, I still feel it captures the essence of Hollywood scumbags and,
You could smell them.
Yeah, and the scooter riding and stuff. And I put it on for someone who hadn't seen it before. And that opening line, what's his opening line? I got to talk fast because I got to go poo.
Yeah,
or I got to
take a
poo.
poo.
Or I got to take a poo.
I got to take a poo.
And that just sets the tone, right? Like, you just know you're in for a good time, a fun time. And I feel it just...
Travolta's going to give a brave performance.
Yeah, and I feel it was just completely unceremoniously, like, trashed so hard, just because I think people found it offensive. But I think it's a hoot and a half.
Excellent.
My number 3.
Love that.
It's The Fanatic?
My number 3.
It's like
Another film.
Fanatic.
My number 3. Another film that features a panicked bowel movement sequence. Uncut Gems.
There it is.
Okay.
This film I've seen twice. This film is everything that I hoped Good Time would be. They achieved with their next film, and I have fully drank the Kool-Aid with the Safdie brothers. This is everything I want in a Jewish movie. This is everything I want in a movie where a man is making increasingly stupid and terrible decisions to try and erase the effects of the last stupid and terrible decision he made beforehand. And I think it has, as I've mentioned before, some really interesting synergy with another movie that is yet to be named in terms of Lucky Rocks and
Yes.
views on our capitalistic society. It is a real gem of a picture. And it is
Rex
not
Reed back
nearly praised enough in awards season. And it does not just have to do with Mr. Sandler. I think KG, hell of a performance, KG. I think the casting that the Safdie brothers do, mixing real people and faces that are forever etched into my memory now with some of the most famous actors on the planet. Just bravo. This is a great, totally memorable, entertaining, hell of a ride.
I think it's not going to be the last time we hear from these guys.
No,
They're going to get up in our face again.
yeah.
We know it.
Just getting started. All right, number 3.
Number 3 for me, we've heard a lot about. It's Climax.
Yeah.
Woo! Way up in the 3.
Wow,
Love
he's got it up to 3.
It hit me in
It's there.
so many of the right spots. Oh my God. just made me feel all sorts of uncomfortable. Seeing it with any Gasper movie, you really need to see it in the theater, and you need to be trapped.
We should probably have a lodge screening for people that haven't seen it, just to trap them.
You need to be trapped, and you can't
spike the punch.
You can't pause it. You can't stop it. It needs to just steamroll over you. That's the only way to see his movies, people.
Mm-hmm.
If you're watching it at home, try to adhere to that. Try to just stay present. Don't be on your phone. Just be looking straight into the void. Whether you're watching Enter the Void, Climax, Irreversible, Love you can skip unless you're in a certain mood.
This is the gateway Gasper. Too.
But this is the gateway to Gasper, Climax. Check it out, Mom and Dad.
Outstanding. We're down to the final two. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm hoping I get punched for this one.
Oh, God. What are you doing?
Better not be Star Wars, The Rise of Skywalker.
Hold on. Love and Light. My number 2 film of 2019 is Under the Silver Lake. From movie-crazed writer-director David...
Have I told you lately that I love you? Because I do.
I fell asleep during 2 different sittings of that.
Okay. Love and Light. Movie-crazed writer-director David Robert Mitchell comes out with a neo-noir dark comedy that has stayed with me all year long. This was fiercely debated in the Lodge.
Fiercely.
To the point where we had to put a moratorium on arguing about it because it was
we could argue for years.
It was
tearing me apart.
It was tearing the Lodge apart. The film joins the ranks of classic LA movies that it draws inspiration from: Chinatown, The Long Goodbye, Body Double.
It's right up there with
numerous David Lynch films.
Don't do that.
Many.
It out-Lynches Lynch in many respects.
Lynch's Lynch.
Many classic.
Cut that out of the episode.
Getting hot in here.
Okay, many classic film noirs. Hilariously stoned and baffled performance from our friend Andrew Garfield. From the mind of a filmmaker that has absorbed incredible amounts of popular culture, spit it out right onto the streets that we inhabit. Runs a little too long.
A little bit.
Just a bit, huh?
But on the second viewing, it jumped up from 3 bones to 3.5 bones. We don't get classic LA movies very often, folks.
No, we don't.
This is one of them. This hipster epic is a classic LA movie.
Damn, I might have to try to watch it
Number
again.
2. Please watch it again. Lucas.
A24.
Okay.
It's A24.
And it's A24 who dumped it.
How many times did you try to watch it, Lucas?
Once in the theater with you all at the ArcLight, I fell asleep, and then I tried to stream it at home, fell asleep.
Oh, Jesus.
Brother Nate, what do you got
All
for
right,
number 2?
Number 2, 1917.
Okay.
Boom.
Jesus.
Extremely affecting World War I movie. I was immersed completely. This was an impressive technical achievement. 1917 captures the trench warfare raw with startling intimacy. I think a lot's been said about it. I think Roger Deakins' best work. I think the synergy between them. The whole thing I was thinking about 1917 is there's going to be a lot of digital, fuckery about. It's just to get this one-shot trick to work, and there surprisingly wasn't, and that to me is an achievement. There's a little when he falls in a waterfall, just a little bit.
Oh, but so well done, though.
But it's so well. I think the city on fire with the flares going on was
So
incredible
good.
visual.
That is an all-time sequence.
Lucas, you're dead
And
inside.
again and again, there was inventive cinematography
You've all
putting
been
us in the
fooled.
seat. Like going up over a hill or going into a dark trench. We just didn't want to go with them, and we had to. And I think it's a powerful film.
And
That's my number 2.
Can I just, real quick, before we move on from 1917, who would have ever guessed, starting with American Beauty, that this filmmaker would go on to create the best modern Bond, and then this movie, 1917? This guy has major action chops.
Yeah.
Major action chops.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Amen. Lucas, number
On to
2.
Number 2 for me is The Beach Bum, starring
Yes!
Matthew McConaughey. I just picked
Yes!
this up on Blu-ray,
Hell yeah.
and I'm a huge fan of Steve Martin's The Jerk, and I feel McConaughey's The Beach Bum is a similar character, like Dostoevsky's The Idiot. It is just pure sublimeness. Like, he's my spirit animal. It's funny. It's moving. It's chill as fuck. It's like a late night stoner comedy. I screened it for some friends at Lake Arrowhead, like shortly after I saw it. And out of the 3 people I was with, one went to bed halfway through the movie.
That's normal.
One person didn't like it. One person liked it. It was a pretty solid
That's about right.
demographic. Yeah.
Response, yeah.
But I just I'm not a huge Harmony Korine fan, but I was just charmed by it. Like, you can't help but enjoy
so
it.
charming.
Yeah.
I think it's something with like really well cast with McConaughey. I mean, it's that he is that guy.
Yeah,
He lives
I
it.
can definitely rewatch it a lot.
Yeah, Moondog having fun.
Number 2 for me is Pain and Glory. Almodovar is one of my favorite filmmakers. I agree. I look forward so much to every film that he releases.
It's an event for sure.
It really is an event. I mean, he has made so many exceptional movies, and they just leap out of the screen. And the thing with this one is it kind of invites you in as opposed to leaping out and spinning you around and dancing with you. This one really invites you in, and it is. I agree. It was you, Nathan.
Yeah,
You said it was.
that's on my list.
It really moved you. You were saying earlier, right? I felt, this was incredibly moving.
There's a switch in perspective at the end where you think one thing and it goes the other thing, and that really moved me. That's the very ending.
Something about, and without giving it away for people that haven't seen it yet, I walked out of that movie and I go, God damn, this guy knows how to stick the landing. He always sticks the
rare.
landing. He is such a exceptional filmmaker, and I know obviously everyone knows about him. He's celebrated, but again, he is one of these guys who he's been making such elite level cinema for so long. He doesn't really we almost take him for granted. And this film is like his 8.5 or whatever. It's like, it's very, very personal. It's very intimate and it's very quiet. And for him and Banderas and their collaboration over the decades, it's really reached its zenith here.
Here.
It's just a beautiful film. Beautiful film. Can't recommend it enough.
Absolutely. Number 2, Lodge, Master.
My number 2 you're about to hear a lot about. It's a little film called Parasite.
Number 2.
It's an amazing commentary on the capitalist society, and you can graft a ton of other things onto it. But even if you take all that away and you watch it on mute, it's an incredible experience. Like, there hasn't been a more confident film that I've seen in recent memory. It just, you feel so taken care of in that movie, and it is such a delight, and it's such a horror, and it's such an everything in between.
It manipulates you for sure. In a great way.
God, what a movie!
Yeah.
What a movie! It's hyped up to the rafters, and it deserves every ounce of it.
Moving on to number 1.
Number one,
Here we
the
go,
Big
guys.
Cheese,
All right.
Film of the year.
Head honcho.
Victory
All right,
lap.
don't get mad at me, folks.
Oh shit, Father and Morth.
Parasite, the top film of 2019 for me. No contest. Deserves all the awards. Look, I'm not going to go too deep into this movie, but I think we covered it pretty well in our podcast episode. I think when I saw it again, I liked it even more the second time. Most entertaining, most imaginative, best directed, best written, best acted, best movie of the year. And yes, I've recommended this film to a stranger.
Ooh,
Yes.
It is Bong's World. May he win Oscar night. That's my number 1.
Number 1, I'll just surf right on to Parasite being my number 1 for sure.
Yes,
It's the
sir.
movie of the, let's just, take
Oye,
measure.
oye.
here. Oh yeah, let's take measure. It's the movie of the time. It's urgent, brilliantly layered look at the timely social themes. Parasite, I mean, Bong is in total command of his craft. It's a pleasure to watch, and Dave was saying rewatch, and I agree. The second time seeing it is a 4 bone. I'll correct my bone. I think I was 3.5 bones on the cast, but
4 bones.
Bringing up
4
to 4
bones
as
sound
it
effect.
should be.
yes, it should
as
be
it
at
should
4.
be.
I think this film is really gave that people had a barrier or problems with subtitles. It really gave those people a run for their money. They had to check, like, oh man, I got to see this one. So I think it's a culturally significant film, and it should get all the awards.
Yes,
Moving
Parasite.
on to Lucas.
My
Lucas,
number one.
Thank you guys.
What are you
Number
gonna
one.
do? What are you gonna do, Lucas?
Is The Lighthouse.
Nice.
I'm a
Classy
huge
choice.
Robert Eggers fan. I love The Witch, and The Lighthouse definitely delivered. I wish it might have been a little more modulated. It had more peaks and valleys. It definitely is crazy from the get-go, but it's just like you're going back in time on a time machine. And I was just like riveted, stunned, amazed. And I'm really upset that, Willem Dafoe did not get nominated for supporting actor, because he really is the glue holding that film together. In addition to, the 4:3 frame and the black and white, and just the mermaid imagery and the masturbatory,
farts.
hallucinating the farts, and the curse. Like, honestly, like, I know a movie has affected me when I'm like saving the Hark Triton curse speech, and I'm like copy and pasting it on all these different threads because I love it that much.
It can be summed up visually in only a few things: the two guys, black and white, and the lighthouse. You know what I mean? I love that. That's what makes it.
That
kind
lighthouse.
I will be
every
rewatching
film.
it like for the rest of my
Called
days.
classic
Yeah.
instantly.
Obviously, my number one film of the year is Parasite. I have seen this film now 3 times.
Wow.
I'm gonna see it
Zach.
again. Damn
This
it.
is the most I have seen a movie, I think, since The Great Beauty came out. I think I saw that 3 times as well. It's Bong's world, baby. What else can we say about it that we didn't say on the cast? We haven't said already tonight. Yes, the first time, you know, the way I felt the tension, as you described, Lodge Master, just so well taken care of, and you're just gripping, clawing into that seat, into that fabric of that ArcLight chair.
Oh, it's already clawed. It comes
We go down that
clawed.
secret stairs, man. I just want it to last forever.
Exactly. But as Bischke said, in the second viewing, yes, obviously I know where it's going now, so that element of tension and surprise is gone. But a lot of the other jokes and the commentary was hitting even harder. And it's just a perfect contemporary fairy tale. And
The movie of the year, man.
it is it deserves everything. It really, I can't remember the last time so many people were landing on the right film for the right time, and it was deserving of all the accolades. And I think that's where we are. And I as much as I was impressed with 1917, I really hope it's Parasite's night on the Oscar telecast.
It'd be great if it went that way. I mean, really.
It'd be amazing.
Lodge Master, what is your favorite film of the year?
Number 1, I follow my emotions. I follow my heart. And if I were to do that for the films of 2019, there's only one jellicle choice, and that's Cats. Cats.
Wait.
I was.
Bitch, you do number. Well, you did Parasite. Right?
I was
shit.
stunned. I was floored. My jaw was on the floor the entire time. I've never seen anything like that.
Jellicle choice.
We're keeping our pain grins back here. Our love and light. Love and light smiles.
I've never had an experience like that. A movie that had so much would-be pedigree and would-be pomp and circumstance. It missed the mark by so much that it hit a different mark.
Right.
And
That's true.
that is
That's
exactly
definitely true.
That's where I want to live my life. Is in those miraculous miscalculations. So I was wowed. I will be returning to that movie throughout my entire life. It's like Mac and Me status. It's it's got legs. And it makes me very encouraged that late in its run it was filling out theaters. Like people know.
Yeah.
People
Rowdy
know.
screenings. Yeah.
It's gonna be
It's been
it's gonna
rowdy
be
all
with us
really.
for a long time, and rightfully so. It was like kind of
singular.
like Avatar ended last decade.
Yes.
We were waiting for something special just to top off the decade, and Cats
Oh, it was the cherry on top
was
for me,
2019
definitely.
cherry on top. I'm so glad we got to experience it together.
What a glorious
Now,
time.
in the spirit of Cats, if I could just give a special honorable mention, for me, the screening of the year, the Veronica premiere.
Veronica. Yeah.
Glenn Danzig's Veronica.
I will never,
That was an
never
experience.
forget that night,
That was
gentlemen.
2019.
Yeah.
When we got trapped in that Q&A.
Cleopatra Entertainment presents. Please visit the concession
Ladies
stand
and gentlemen,
and the bar,
ladies and gentlemen, the snack bar is open.
Mr. Danzig will be in person.
Veronica's time is yet to come.
Is that
Like,
getting released? Is it?
I don't even know if
I
it's been
I
released.
think it's
It's being
VOD.
released.
It's VOD pretty
It'll
soon.
be a
It's
VOD.
VOD,
Hot
and it will
VOD.
I don't know if it's going to become the midnight movie that The Room that we thought it might.
I
be
think
that
it
night.
might eventually.
Yeah.
It's just going
Maybe.
to take a little time.
It's going to see what happens. It'd be interesting to see what happens organically with this movie, with the VOD-ness of it all. But I just have to say that night and that screening, we were all anticipating something special and magical, and it delivered.
And we got it.
And it just it was Verotica. Verotica.
Cinema of all tastes
I just-
and ambitions.
Yeah, for me, that also in the spirit of the
Yes.
Jellicle choice. That was my
Yes.
Jellicle choice.
Yes.
Was the Verotica screening.
Absolutely.
And I think actually that's a nice tradition, Lodge Master, that maybe you've hit on here, is you have your top 10 and you have your Jellicle choice.
Yes.
And I
Yeah.
think that would be Veronica for me.
That's a good Jellicle choice.
Very
Definitely
good.
solid.
Well, we got lots to look forward to in 2020, folks.
We did it.
We got James Bond in
Yeah.
No Time to Die. We got Top Gun Maverick. We got Chris Nolan's Tenet.
Yeah, we do.
We got Bill and Ted Face the Music.
Ooh.
We got Coming to America.
The two.
And we got Dune. So we got a lot to look forward to. I just want to give a special shout out to our sponsor AMC. If you're looking
A-list, baby.
if you're looking forward to these movies, you should be on the AMC Stubbs A-list. Find a crew member after the show. I'm going to do it. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to our Oscar Extravaganza live from the Lodge. It's been a great time. We'll see you Oscar Sunday. And if we don't, please take our recommendations and our predictions with a grain of salt. We think we know what's going to win, but we're not quite sure. This has been Brother Bischke. Brother Nate, what do you say?
Hey guys, I'm ready for Oscar Gold Night, and I hope it's a Team Parasite night.
Brother Lucas?
I'm thinking that there should be a Cats Verotica like mashup that Glenn Danzig should run with and get Judi Dench to star in.
He's working on it. Brother Zach?
Bong or nothing at all.
Absolutely. And the Lodge Master.
Best producer, Brother Bischke.
Gracias.
Yes, I second that. Thank you, Brother.
Thanks for
Bischke.
having
Yes.
us. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, once
Thank you
again,
for being
Brother
here.
Bischke.
We'll see you in the year 2020. Have a great one. Love and light.
Love
Love
and
and
light.
light.
Cats.
Yes.
Oh my God.